Hey everybody, thanks for clicking on the video. This is David Pendleton, and this is going to be our front 9 pro walkthrough for the Stateside Class 6 tournament. So I'm getting this out a little bit later than I wanted to. I set some time aside this afternoon to work on pro, and then it looks like Golf Clash and Playdemic had a meltdown. They took the game offline for over 2 hours while they did some maintenance. So I know a lot of people are having issues with the game, including myself, which you're going to see in the replays. Very, very frustrating. But the good news is I was able to kind of push through it and still fire off a really good front 9. And I'm going to walk you through my shots. I'm going to walk you through how I made some of these. But most importantly, with the new tournament changes, we're going to take a look at my misses. And we're going to talk through what you all need to do in order to either make them or get closer than I did. So, if you like my stuff, please subscribe and please hit that thumbs up button. Those things just take a millisecond. It'd be so much appreciated. And let's go ahead and hop into this. So you see here minus 15. I'm happy. This is a great score in the new tournament structure. I've been doing much better on pro than I have on rookie. And it's continuing. So let's hop into the replays. Let's talk about what's going well, what's not going well. Hole number 1, as always, going well. We get a really good wind this time. So last time we were laying up on the fairway. This time we're going to go over this little, indent of the fairway, and we're going to drive up towards the green. Now, what I want to do is I'm using a Kingmaker here. You could obviously definitely use a Titan. A Titan would be a better ball in this scenario to use because it's going to give you more of a wind push. If you use a Kingmaker like I am, you're going to have to use a little bit more overpower. But for me, I would rather use the overpower and get the extra bar of right side spin because I do have a tendency whenever I play this hole for some reason to hit a great left, and a great left with only 2 bars of right side spin could put you in the rough. So I'm taking the Kingmaker. I'm going to go overpower, and I'm going to use the full right side spin with 4 to 4.5 bars of top spin. And I'm looking to get my ball guideline just basically centered onto the fairway here. I'm leaving myself room on both sides for a great shot. I adjust at 20% elevation. And then I push that baby back up to max. And you can see right here, this is basically what your curl should look like. And this is what your overpower should look like. You want your ball, and this is how I always describe it. There's probably a better way to describe it. But for me, I've got the left edge of my ball touching against the right edge of the adjustment target. And as I said, I did hit a great shot here to the left. You see there, no fear of clipping the rough, but that right side spin really bails me out and keeps me here towards the green. So we love this drive on hole number 1. This is easily going to pick up an eagle and get you set up for success on your opening round. Okay, hole number 2 is kind of being a little bit weird on this wind angle, but I'm playing it 10%. And right here, I just adjusted 3.5 bars of backspin. And I just pulled this at 10% elevation like I always do on this hole. Normally when you're playing this on one-on-one play in Tour 8, you're just trying to get close to the pin, which I'm always close to the pin on this one. But here in a tournament, we're trying to get a hole-in-one. And you can see here, for my first shot at the hole, it's not too bad, right? It's not horrible, but we can talk through what I think you need to do. So I would go ahead and probably move this to about 4 bars of backspin, 4 full bars of backspin. And what I would do is I would start to move my target around now. I would start to move my target around and just offset to the right-hand side just a little bit, because take a look at this shot. The shot always plays well at 10% elevation and minimum distance of the sniper. But you'll see we get a good bounce, and the roll is fine. It's not like it's coming in too hot because obviously there it's slowed down. So if it would have been on target, it would have easily been in the hole. It's not like it would have came in too hot. But we missed this one. Let's call it one full green square to the left of the hole. So, that's kind of what you need to look at when you go to offset this shot. Or you can play it differently. It's whatever you're comfortable with. But that is hole number 2. Obviously, easy birdie. It's not like you're going to par it. But picking up a hole-in-one would definitely be nice. Now, hole number 3, I kind of want to talk to you about how I'm playing it with this wind. I gave you a couple different ways to play it in the qualifying round. This wind angle is throwing me off a little bit when I try to go over the trees. And, I only have 2 pro accounts, so I'm not like a lot of other people who have 7, 8 accounts out there. I just don't have time for that. But, I'm not going to go over the trees in this one. I'm going to go ahead and just hook it around the trees here because I just didn't like the way the ball guideline was when I thought about going over like I did right there. So instead, I want you to use 3 bars of left side spin combined with about 3 bars of top spin. Don't push this more than 3.5 bars of top spin. And the reason that I say that, on my Big Daddy account, I went 4 bars of top spin and I went 3 bars of right side spin. I hit a perfect ball, but I actually rolled into the top of the rough here on the fairway. And I couldn't even get to the green in 2. So I was lucky I made it out of the sand to save the eagle. But regardless, this is a great shot. You're going to use full left curl with an extra mile. And you can see here, there's no fear of hitting trees. There's no fear of hitting rough. And we leave ourselves plenty of room. On this hole, we're just going to chalk it up as a par 5 that it's not going to be an easy albatross. Well, there's really no such thing as the easy albatross. But we don't have time to mess around and try to even dial this in for an albatross. So we're going to just take this as an eagle. And people are messing this hole up. You've probably seen opponents mess it up. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But I have. So one of my opponents had to take a birdie, on this hole. So 1 out of 2 took a birdie. And I don't think it's going to be that high. But, probably 20% of people at least take a birdie on this hole. And this right here is played at minus 10%. It is very important that you pack your most powerful wood club that you're comfortable with. So that's going to be at a Cataclysm or a Big Dog for most people. So right here, we're taking the eagle, like I said. So, what I like about this so far is we're -5 through 3 holes. And that's a really good goal to be at. If we can pick up that hole-in-one on hole number 2, we'll take it as a bonus. Now, this hole, I'll be honest with you, this hole sucks. I don't like this hole. You can see here I was trying to attack it with a Kingmaker and doing this bounce-over shot. But the biggest problem that I ran into, again, is just didn't leave enough room to adjust. So I switched it to a Katana. Katana, I chose to go 4 bars of backspin. And I was trying to find a spot on the green where I got like a good ball guideline. And it just doesn't really exist. I tried to apply a little bit of right side spin and not even pay attention to the ball guideline. Just to see what would happen with a straight crosswind from right to left. And you can see here, this is where the game started to glitch out on me. It starts to pop up that reconnect thing. I was lucky I was able to finish this hole right before they took the game offline. I mean, I putted, the ball went in, and then boom, the game was offline. So, I feel very lucky as far as that goes. Here is actually how I would suggest you play this hole. I'm playing both shots at 20%, but with this wind going from right to left, I like to attack it from the right-hand side better than going straight over. And we'll take a look here at the spin adjustment and what the ball guideline looks like. 3.9 bars of backspin, 1 bar of right side spin. And that left me with a ball guideline looking like that. I kept it short of the hole and I kept it right of the hole. Just kind of thinking that the wind would push me towards the pin. And the wind definitely pushed me towards the pin, but it just came in a little too high. So we'd have to tinker around with that one a little bit. The only thing I could tell you is maybe apply a little bit more backspin and a little bit more side spin to try to even that shot out a little bit. But regardless, this is, of course, a very difficult par 3 to get a hole-in-one on. So I wouldn't try to go too fancy and end up in the sand. I had one opponent try to do the bounce-over shot, and he hit a great shot, but he ended up in the sand. So let's not do that. Let's just take this one as a difficult par 3 and chalk it up as a birdie and maybe a lucky hole-in-one because there's other drops coming up. Starting with this hole. Now, this hole we can get a drop on, okay? I didn't get it, but you can get it. We're going to go 10% on the drive. Notice here I got full right side spin combined with 1 bar of top spin. I'm going to adjust my rings, like I said, at a 10% elevation here. And because I'm getting crosswind from left to right, I'm not using any curl. Normally we play this hole with curl, but not this time. Important to note. And this is a really good spot on the fairway. That's going to take us into shot number 2. And what I want you to know about shot number 2 is I played this one at 10% elevation. Typically how I always play shot number 2 on this hole. Now let's take a look at the setup, okay? Because this is going to be important for you to get this drop. So notice the 3 bars of side spin. But most importantly, notice how my second bounce here is right up here, like just below the fringe level, okay? So it's going to bounce onto the fairway, and you'll see there that my ball guideline is sort of in the middle of that dark green square, but it's just favoring the left-hand side of the dark green square. And I'm talking about the very end of my ball guideline right here. And like I said, I pull this at 10%. I pull it at medium distance of my club when I get this type of drive. Now we're talking about perfect speed again, okay? The only thing that I would do if, when you play is you need to change this to 20% elevation, okay? When I mess around with my app, and, if I just assume that I need to pull this one maybe 0.2 or 0.3 rings more to the left, if I visualize that would have gone into the hole, it works out to be about 20% elevation on shot number 2. So note that, okay? 20%. And you're going to be right there for sure. Hole number 6. Okay, now, hole number 6. The game has made this drive much harder on us. In my opinion, the best chance for an Albatross always on this hole is to get ourselves onto that fairway on that island. It always gives us a straight shot to the pin. If you go the right-hand side, sometimes that rough and sand gets in your way of a developed ball guideline. So attacking this hole from fairway to fairway and getting on that island leaves us, for sure, best success to try to drop this shot. Now, the only problem is when you get headwind on this hole like we have right now, you're going to have to use overpower on the drive unless you want to use a money ball, okay? And I say that because I would not use a berserker. I don't like long-range Albatross shots with a wind 1 ball, okay? So if you're a player who's going to use a money ball, I would definitely suggest like a power 4, wind 4, something like that. Power 4, wind 3, anything like that or better would be best situation. But, I played this one with the Kingmaker, and I applied quite a bit of top spin, 6 bars of top spin, which you can do if you have an extra mile 8 or above. If you're playing with an extra mile 7, of course, it's going to be, I think, 4.5 bars of top spin, and you're going to have to apply just a little bit more overpower. But we do pull this at 20% elevation. You can see there, I did not use a whole lot of overpower. It was just a tad. And the reason that I didn't do that is because, man, you don't want to hit a great shot and end up in the rough. Like, that would be deadly on this hole. So you want to make sure that no matter what, you end up in the fairway. But where I ended up at the fairway, is exactly where you want to be. You want to be like in the middle, right-hand side is perfect for this shot. Okay. Now, you're going to notice my spin here, and I'll pause it so that we can get you best set up for the Albatross. Okay, so on this shot here, I went about 1.5 bars of backspin with just a sliver of left side spin, okay? And that was just to get myself lined up to the hole and to kind of counter effect the crosswind a little bit. 10% elevation. I pulled this one between medium and max distance of my club. I did not pull it at exact max. And that was probably the difference maker on this shot right here. Okay, so if I'd have pulled it at max, it'd have been about almost another, 0.3 or 0.4 rings. And that would have got me a lot closer to the dang hole. So on this particular shot, I played Big Daddy first, and I hopped over to my main, which is how I've been doing it. I went with the exact same spin adjustment, as you can see. Maybe just a tad more of the side spin to the left, and let's take a look. But I like the speed, so I went 1.5 back. Yeah, maybe just a tad more left side spin. So call that like 0.2 bars of left side spin. But pay attention to what I did here. I knew that I had missed to the right. So I went ahead and offset my shot, just a hair there. So my ball guideline not touching the edge of the cup, just outside the edge of the cup. And this time I went ahead and pulled at max distance. Even though I'm not at max, I did pull this one at max distance. 10% elevation. I mean, that's dead center. So, I think that's a really important drop because you know that a lot of people are going to tie in the tournaments. And it's going to come down to who has the best tiebreaker score. But if you tie on the tiebreaker score, then it's going to come down to who has the most albatrosses. So picking up any albatross in a tournament is going to be so far heavily weighed now more than ever. But that's a really good offset shot. And, heck, we got an albatross. We'll take it. Now, hole number 7, if you remember in my qualifying round, we were playing the rough bump from the right-hand side, which is what I went to set up here. So, in my mind, okay, I'll give you how I was thinking. In my mind, coming into this hole, not knowing what the wind was going to be, I was thinking I'm going to take the shot the same way I did in qualifying. But then I looked at the wind. Once I got up here, I'm like, oh, okay, we're blowing from left to right. This is going to be a lot better shot to take on this rough bump. So if you remember my qualifying video, I said, hey, sometimes we play this from the right-hand rough bump. Sometimes we play it from the left-hand rough bump in pro. Obviously never in rookie. But I get this shot right here. And if you're taking notes, like I always encourage you to do, I'm playing this one at absolute max distance of my quarterback, okay? I'm playing it with no elevation. So max distance on my quarterback and no elevation. That's it. I think the biggest thing for you to pay attention to outside of that is going to be the spin adjustments that gets us to the pin. So right here, notice it's 1.5 bars of top and almost 1.5 bars of right, like maybe 1.3. Okay, and the details are going to matter when you take a look at this. And then notice where I set up here. So for a frame of reference, I put my yellow ring on the rough line, and I got my ball guideline going dead center of the hole. And we leave it right at the pin, okay? No big deal. All I need to do is make a minor adjustment on my main account. Oh no, where'd it go? Hold on. I've got it somewhere. There we go. Look at that. So I knew the spin was good, okay? The spin was really good. So I try to duplicate that. Put the top spin, put the right spin on there. But again, you know, learn off my mistakes. And I was able to learn off my mistake on my own here. Notice now, because I missed just barely to the right-hand side and just barely short, I put my ball guideline further past the pin and lined up on the left-hand side here. And you see this reconnect thing. That's going to become a common thing for the rest of the video. This was really affecting perfect shots on my other accounts. My other account I'm sick with because of the reconnects. But boom, look at that. Center of the cup. Gotta love the hole-in-one. I think that puts us for a really good opportunity. And a lot of players are not going to be able to execute that shot on the fly. Okay? So there we go. We got an Albatross. We got a hole-in-one. We got an eagle on hole number 1. We're cooking with gas. Now on this one, you know, I got a little bit of feedback from everybody, and that, you know, my shot was too boring. Just going with a max backspin shot on shot number 2 with the sniper, and just going for a birdie. So some people asked if I could be more aggressive and try to go for the eagle on this hole. So here we go. Let's talk about trying to get an eagle on hole number 8. Make sure you pack your Guardian, and there's the reconnect again. %0 elevation on this drive. Just notice you want to slam the ball up as high on the fairway as you can, and you want to use right curl to get you in a good position. The Guardian shot is one we've played in a lot of other tournaments when we had times to dial it in. This is played at 20% elevation for the most part, okay? Or you can play it 1 for 1. 1 for 1 is very close with the Guardian at 20%. Because I'm playing this one at medium distance. So let me show you. So let's just say I have my Guardian, okay? I got a power 3 ball. I'm playing 20%, and the wind is 6.5. Notice it's 6.6 rings. If it's 8.8 miles an hour, it's 9 rings. So it's pretty close. But it is 20% elevation. That's how I'm playing it, which is very close to 1 for 1 on a Guardian at medium distance. All right, so as you can see, I'm using backspin with a little bit of side spin. The game's trying to reconnect me again. And all I'm trying to do is just visualize that ball coming back into the hole based off my ball guideline. It's not easy to do. You can do this exact same shot with the sniper. Just the backspin is more aggressive with the Guardian, which kicks the ball back towards the hole at a better speed, which is what you need. And we came pretty darn close to dropping it. Now, on my other account, I'm so mad. The reconnection thing was going on as I was trying to take a shot. And, you know, I released the shot, and the thing was so far off due to it glitching out on me. I actually took a par on this hole, and I'm like furious. So it is what it is. The game's had a lot of issues today, and just kind of take it as a one-off. And hopefully they get it fixed. Hole number 9, I think everybody knows how to play this hole at this point. You got to bring your most powerful wood club for shot number 2. There we are getting disconnected again. The thing that I would tell you is, don't use any top spin. You're better to be safe than sorry. You might even want to go like half a bar of backspin or a full bar of backspin, because you don't want this ball rolling into the rough and killing your chance at shot number 2. And you can see right here, we got some wiggle room, but that's a little close for my comfort. I pull out my Cataclysm, and of course, you know what we're doing here. We're going full top spin. We're going 1 bar left side spin. And, we're just trying to slam the ball up there into those shadows. So get up into the shadows, but don't push this ball so hard, that you mess up and you don't hit perfect. I could have pushed back up to max, but I didn't. I just knew that all I needed to do, there it is again, was get into this area here so that I have a direct shot towards the pin. This shot is played at 10% elevation. I played this one between mid and max distance of my club, because you can see I was almost at max, but not quite. I was just kind of caught in the middle of mid and max. So I always just split the difference. If max distance is 8 rings and medium distance is 6 rings, I'm going to play 7 rings. I'm going to split it in the middle. And that's not the ring pool here. I'm just using that as an example. But you can see here, great shot. We're dead center of the cup again, and we drop this thing for an eagle. So, please subscribe. Please hit the thumbs up button. This is a great path for pro to begin with. And I'm probably not going to get my second half up at all. I don't know. I know my work is going to be busy tomorrow. I'm disappointed that the game was down for a few hours today. That was the difference maker in me getting the rest of it up. But I'm going to try really hard. I might wake up early and try to get this thing done. But so just hang tight. I'm in USA. It's 8:00 p.m. right now. So I would say from right now, if I don't have my walkthrough up in the next 12 hours, then it won't be up at all. But I might get up, at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning and get the back 9 up for everybody. I'm going to do my absolute best, okay? That's all I can say. But this is a great path. Go out there, kick butt. Let me know how you do. Thank you.